How you doing, guys? This is Howie Dewey from the Degenerate Gamblers, and we're looking at you live here about, I don't know, 100 feet from the Saratoga racetrack, but I don't see any horses kicking around that track because it's fucking like 20 below and ice all over the place, and I now officially have the third largest clitoris in Saratoga. But I'm here today with my boy. He's joined the crew, the Degenerate Gamblers. He's going to be handicapping NFL with me, college basketball. But I want to bring in my boy Steve Valente. What's going on, Steve?
Howie, what's going on? Freezing your nuts off here in upstate New York. The winter frost is here.
Dude, this is brutal. This is like
Brutal.
this is absolutely brutal.
Like you could start pissing outside and your piss would freeze. Like you'd have a stream of frozen piss.
Yeah, yeah. I saw some dude the other day. He had like long hair, and he laid on a bench, and they wet his hair. He had long hair. They laid on
Yeah,
a bench. He stood
PFT
up.
commentator.
He
I
stood
saw
up.
it. Yeah, from
He looked like
Barstool.
fucking Heat Miser. His hair was like 4 feet straight in the air.
Right up.
I,
Right up. Yeah.
I can remember though going to school up here, and after a game, we'd take a shower, we'd go outside, and when we got out the bus to go home, you could take your hair and snap it because it'd be icicles. You
That's what
know?
he was worried about. He was worried about his hair snapping on him.
Yeah,
But
it
if his
was.
but if his commander's loose Sunday, he's got to cut all his hair off anyway. So that was the bet.
That's exactly what it is, man. So let's get into it, man. Like NFL, we've done great on here in NFL. I mean, I don't know if I've gotten lucky or what, but we hit like a seven team parlay last week with the Bills, with Josh Allen, a couple other things. You got Washington going into Philly this weekend, and I look at that spread, and it's -6.5 Eagles. So that's telling the public what that the Eagles are going to win by a touchdown.
Right.
Uh, Listen, I mean, we can all agree that Washington's playing better than anybody that has all year long. I mean, what they did last week was insane. What do you think about
Unbelievable.
this game this weekend? Eagles -6.5, over under 47.5. Games in Philly. It's probably going to be chilly. What do you think?
Howie had a dream last night. I swear to God, hand to God here as I sit here down in my basement. Had a dream last night. One of my friends passed away last winter. Had a dream, hugged him in my dream. We both said Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but it was in my dream last night. Eagles going to the Super Bowl. Public's all over the Commanders on this one. They're flying high. I don't know, man. That Philly D is looking tough right now. Looking tough. 6 points. You're giving me under that number of 7. I'd probably lay the number and take the Eagles to cover and go to the Super Bowl. Maybe my dream comes to fruition here, right?
Hey, I mean, Vegas thinks so. If you
The
talk to
sharp money's on the Eagles, right?
it is. It is. I mean, they're basically everybody is betting on the Eagles defense
Yep.
versus Jaden Daniels. Uh I mean, that's really it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Yeah.
Daniels versus the Eagles D. And I mean, this kid, Daniels, and I've played the last 3 weeks in a row. I've played I can't think the receiver for Washington, who is
Terry McLaurin.
McCoy. Oh my God, McLaurin.
Terry.
McLaurin's made me more cash the last 2 weeks. This kid is the real deal. He's unstoppable.
Legit. Ohio State alum.
Yeah, I mean, and what do they got? Like 32 of them coming out this year. I mean, Ohio State, congratulations. I win the national championship, even though I had Notre Dame plus 1,500 that I took early. But Ohio State, look, you got a $20 million payroll in college. That's more than like some NFL teams. You have more talent than my Jets. Put it that way.
Do you have a
I mean,
Woody after that first drive from Notre Dame there, Howie?
I was very excited. I was pumped. And I'll tell you what, I bet Ohio State. I ended up winning a little bit on the game, but If Notre Dame had won, I would have cleaned house. I actually bet Notre Dame after the Army game that I went to at Yankee Stadium. They were plus 1,500. They impressed me. I mean, they had a good team. But that quarterback from Ohio State, he
Will
just
Howard.
I think he started off like 13 for 13.
He was locked in the whole playoff. I think after that Michigan loss, he just had something to prove. Kid coming out of Kansas State, only
Yeah.
year going to be at Ohio State. He had something to prove, and he locked in, and he was in the zone. I mean, what did they score 31 unanswered against Notre Dame's defense, which
Yeah.
never thought it was going to happen, but it did, and Ohio State made it close there at the end of the fourth quarter, but I don't think there was ever any in doubt of them losing that game.
No, and I mean this was a really good Notre Dame defense. Supposedly had one of the best backfields in the country, and these guys looked like we're sleeping. I mean, I'm like, who's guarding? You got to guard somebody. You need an
Somebody.
interception, something. They just, I don't know. Ohio State, after they lost to Michigan, I was not impressed. And then they just
No.
everyone out.
Yeah. It blew everybody out.
So, we talk in college football. I talk about it on here all the time. We had a really good year. It's money wise as far as college football goes. And I talk about it here all the time that it's no coincidence that the SEC, who I think had won the last 15 out of 20 national championships up until last year, the last 2 years, the SEC has not had a team in the national championship. Do you think that's a coincidence or the fact that, hey, now Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, a lot of these teams have more money?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where the tide's turning here in college sports is where who can have the bigger paycheck. But how about not to flip sports, but how about the SEC in college basketball right now? They're the top conference where they've never been or haven't been in how many years we've been dealing with college basketball. So
Yeah. I mean,
crazy.
You said the tide's turning. That's because the Tide could illegally pay players the last 30 years.
Right.
And now there's no way in hell schools like Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, you're not going to compete with Michigan financially. Forget about it. You're not even in that same. Michigan's got the real money. Larry Ellison's new girlfriend, I think 26, 27-year-old girlfriend. I don't know. The guy's like 70. He's got more money than God. Owns Oracle, just bought Paramount, CBS. His girlfriend said, "Hey, Daddy, Michigan needs a quarterback. Could you go buy one?" And the very next week, he just shelled out $10 million for the top quarterback in the country. He said, "Here, my girlfriend wants you to go to Michigan. You don't have to blow her. I mean, she won't blow you, but you definitely got to throw TDs next year." So
stole him right out from under Brian Kelly and LSU.
Yeah, because these SEC schools, you don't have the money, man. I mean, Michigan's graduating doctors and lawyers. Alabama's graduating, truck drivers. And, I'm not busting on the South, but you guys are a little slow. We saw all those car accidents and an inch of snow yesterday. It's bad because my kids live in Atlanta, and my son called me and he's like, "Dad, it's 40 degrees. Do you think it's safe to go out and drive?" And I'm like, "Why wouldn't it?" He said, "Because there's cars pulled over or crashed into poles like every 15 feet on the roads." And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Give it a shot.
Use that lump 3 feet above your ass. It's called your brain, and just drive a little bit slower.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's rocket science.
Don't hit the brake. Don't hit the brakes. Just don't hit the brakes and do it. But no, college football is going to change. The landscape's going to change. God forbid if the Ivy League ever took college sports seriously, because nobody would compete with them. Because you wouldn't compete with a Harvard, $70 billion endowment versus University of Florida. You just wouldn't. But luckily they don't. But let's get into this. So we both think, Philly's at home. Most people think that they could cover this spread. It's going to depend on how Jaden Daniels plays. I don't know, man. It could be a close game. I do like the Eagles advancing to the Super Bowl. I agree. Then we got the Bills Chiefs. I've been on the Bills making money with props. The only prop that killed me last week was
Howie, before you jump into the Chiefs Bills, I do have one prop I'm going to play in each of these games.
yes, tell us.
Zach Ertz anytime touchdown in that first game. I think Ertz gets back in the end zone. He's been pretty hot the last couple weeks, and I like that plus 295 plus money, so it's decent value. I'd take Zach Ertz anytime touchdown.
All right, okay. So you said Zach Ertz?
In the Washington game. Before we jump into
wow,
the
what's the prop on that? That's got to be good.
It's plus 295 for DraftKings. You can get it for anytime touchdown.
Plus, that's almost plus 300 anytime touchdown.
Yep.
You got to throw that in, especially if you're using parlays. I mean, I might take Philly money line and throw Ertz in there. Maybe Hurts over 25 yards rushing.
Like that.
Because they're going to be pulling out all the stops. They're going to be doing anything they can to win this game. This is it. And I mean, this gets you to the bowl. So we'll be watching that game.
You just got to be careful with Hurts.
Yeah,
just got to be careful with Hurts and that head injury that he's been dealing with, that concussion. And they're a little weary about him last week, but he came back in the game, went into the booth there, went into the tank there, whatever you want to call it, on the sideline to get checked out. But yeah, that's one thing definitely to look out for, because the last game these guys played against each other, they did knock Hurts out early with a concussion. So, but like you said, this is for all the marbles going to the bowl.
Yeah, I can't wait. Looking forward to that. Second game. Here we go. I don't know how many years in a row we've seen this one. And this is the game of the year right now. You got the Bills who are playing better than anyone right now, but they got to go into Kansas City. And basically, you got Patrick Mahomes with the NFL on his back. Every referee we know is in the pocket already. He's going to get every call there is. Chiefs only minus 1.5. I would have thought it would have been 2.5, maybe 3. Only minus 1.5. Same. We got both games this weekend. Under overs 47.5. What do you think about this game?
Howie, so there's another one where the splits, the public's all over the Bills on this one. You're 70-30 in both your public money and your public bets, and the line's not moving. I'm not rooting for the Chiefs on any level. I can't do it. I won't do it. I'm sick of the Chiefs. I want to see the Bills get it done. Those poor bastards over there in Buffalo. But it's telling you something. It's telling you that the sharp money's staying on the Chiefs, and that, the public idiots like me are going to tell you to bet the Bills because they're the the hot hand here. But I don't know, man. It's tough. Like you said, NFL's all over Patrick Mahomes, prick.
Yeah.
Tough game. And over under, I hate unders. Unders suck. They're boring. Who wants to bet an under? But another thing, it's telling you play the under in this one. Sharp money's on the under. Everybody in the public is all over the over in this game. So they're going to run it. They're going to grind it out. You're going to get a 17-10 game, something like that. I don't know. I don't know.
This game going 23-17, 23-20.
Yep.
I also like the under in this game. I don't think you're going to see these guys. This is going to be probably a conservative game until it isn't.
Right. No, I agree. I think it's going to be very conservative. Nobody wants to make that first mistake. Josh Allen, maybe rushing prop, something to take a look at, because we know he likes to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And we know what quarterbacks get in the NFL nowadays. You basically, it's two-hand touch for them. So, this one's tough. I think you got to fade the public, probably on both sides, even though I'm going to be rooting my balls off for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, me too. I would love nothing better than to see them get to the finals. It's going to be hard. Let's put it that way. I mean, winning in Kansas City, and you've seen the last
Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, it's just.
Yeah. I mean, Kelsey's one of those guys that, he's knocking out Taylor Swift 6 days a week. And then he'll watch him have 200 yards and 3 touchdowns on Sunday.
Right. No big deal, right? She'll be sitting up in the luxury box. Who's she going to have in the box this week, right? Is it going to be Caitlin Clark again? She bringing back Ryan Reynolds' wife there. What's her face there? The actress, whatever.
Oh, what a twat.
Blake Lively. I just I don't even want to fucking look at it. I'm sick of looking at it. Come on, Buffalo. Come on, Josh Allen. Let's play a little Mr. Brightside
Yeah.
and sing you into the Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Let's bring some outsiders up in Taylor Swift's box. I mean,
all that box.
let's mix it
Taking
up.
it.
Let's mix
Double
that box up. That's what it's all
right.
about. Yeah. Yeah. It was, yeah. She had Caitlin Clark last week, and it's like, oh, God, man.
She was shooting jumpers into her box.
Yeah. That's another thing. I mean, yeah, we can bet on college women's hoops now. We can. So,
yes,
any of you kids out there that are tapping a solid Division I college female basketball player, and you know what's going to happen the next day, make sure you call us or hit us up.
Degenerates.
Give us that info. You know, I got no problem betting the Northwestern, the Phillies, against the Ohio State females on a Monday afternoon or wherever they play. That's terrible. I don't know when they play, but
but it doesn't matter as long as you got action. They could be playing in a zoo. I don't care. Action's action, Howie.
Unfeminist. I don't know when they play. Look, I'm just calling them they because I'm use proper pronouns. I'm trying to be.
We're allowed to.
Yeah,
we're allowed to. Though.
I don't know when the they them play.
It got passed the law. We're allowed to be inappropriate again.
Yeah, that's what they say. I don't know. I don't know the difference.
I don't know either.
I have no idea, man.
I watch sports.
That's it. I mean, the Chiefs minus one.
I got a player prop. I got a little juicy player prop.
What do you got?
For you. So I like my man, Florida State alum, came from Michigan, Florida State, Keon Coleman, rookie wide receiver, Buffalo Bills. Anytime touchdown, plus 350 on DraftKings and MGM. And then if you really want to get into it a little bit, Howie, plus 2,200 on DraftKings, first time touchdown score in the game, Keon Coleman.
Wow, plus $2,000, man. There you go. You sprinkle a little money on that.
A little sprinkle, you know.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And the play I do like, I like the under 47.5.
Yep.
I'll dick around with a lot of props, but I'll probably lay a little cabbage on that under and just sit back. And it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
You got to really get in the right mind of frame to sit there and be like, hopefully they get it down to the one. Fumble. Get it back to the 50. Interception.
I don't see this game going over late, though. I think we'll know by halftime which way it's going to go or what kind of game it's going to be. If it's going to be a low-scoring game or if
it's either going to be 21-17 or 7-3.
Yeah. You know we're going to sweat it out regardless, but I think we'll know by halftime which direction that over-under is going for sure.
I agree. So let's do a 360 night right now. Let's turn it all around, or 180, whatever you call it. I really fuck these numbers up.
All them.
But let's get right into college hoops because, look, on the Degenerate Gamblers website, look, join. If you like what you see, hit the like buttons. Follow Howie Dewey. Join the Degenerate Gamblers on Whop.com because we have a Discord on there. We got guys all over the country. Different cities, different towns, and college hoops. We're hitting it hard. We had a great night last night. Really,
Howie, you just said stuff that you don't even know you just said. You said WAP, and we're talking wet ass pussy, and you said hitting it hard, all in the same sentence. All right there. I mean, why wouldn't you want to join in?
Yeah, WHOP.com, WAP.com.
WAP.
It's funny, but that's what you go to. It's $24 a month, and look, you get picks, live picks, and you get Howie hedging 13 college bets on a Saturday.
Live interaction with us too, Howie.
Yeah,
the live interaction.
We'll be live streaming. We'll be doing some live streaming on YouTube during some of these games, especially during the tournament, which is huge. I'll put out a live college basketball guide to help you win your office pool.
And they even got a live message board too, right, Howie? Where you can go back and forth if somebody comments on your picks.
Yeah,
stuff
absolutely.
Like that, right?
Yeah. So I mean, look, I had my girl pay for it last year. We put out a guide. It was like $49. She's won her office pool 2 years in a row because the last 2 years I've had UConn winning the whole thing. I put in a prop bet this year early on, UConn to win it. They're not going to. They just don't have the bigs that they've had the last few years. They squeaked one out last night against Butler, I believe it was.
Yeah, 2-point win against Butler.
Overtime. Uh,
Yeah, yep.
they lost Xavier the other day. They are not playing well. 2 nights ago it was
They're
last.
not the team that they were the last 2 years. Let's just say that,
They have
right?
good guards.
Yeah.
They got the 6'8" kid that shoots the shit out of it. But they don't have the bigs. They're getting out rebounded. They're getting physically out. Probably the most physical guy on their team is Danny Hurley when he's running after the refs, telling them he's the greatest coach in Division One basketball.
Greatest coach in
Dude,
T1.
I would have turned around and just bitch slapped him. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but Howie, every time I just like, when is somebody gonna put this guy down? I mean, come on. He's over the top. I like excitement, I like energy, but Danny Hurley, you want to just bitch slap, just like
He's
you
out of his
said.
mind. He's
Out of
certifiably
his
insane.
fucking mind. Insane, nuts, crazy, crazy. Talking about crazy, we got matchups here Saturday. We
Oh,
got a
well,
lot of
let's
top 20
start
fights.
real quick with, I mean, tonight, I don't even know if this video will be out quick enough, but the only two games I looked at tonight, really, you got Maryland not playing
Yep.
well. Couple big guys down low. I love them. They got to go to Illinois. Illinois is a -7.5 point favorite. And Illinois, again, they don't have the team they've had the last couple years. Got a couple good foreigners that shoot the shit out of it, but -7.5. I have no idea on this game. I don't have a lean. The one game I have a little lean on, and this is you want to talk about a trap spread tonight. New Jersey Institute of Technology, NJIT, goes up to Vermont, plays the Cavs.
Okay.
Vermont has been dominant in that conference
Dominant.
last 5-10 years. When
Yep.
you had to go play Vermont in a playoff game to move on to the tourney, you had no chance. They just don't
No
lose at
shot.
home. But
No.
they're not that good this year. They lost to Iona. They lost to a lot of just average teams. But they're laying 15.5 at home tonight. Something tells me they're going to win by 30 in that tiny little high school.
Blowout city.
Yeah,
Blowout city.
I think they probably win big up in Burlington tonight. So I like that. Friday, we got, and this is what's weird, Steve. This is the first year ever where, for years and years and years and years, Friday night was the Ivy Leagues. That was about it. You had 6-8
Yep.
games. You had the MAC. You had, maybe Siena and Marist, Niagara playing.
Yep.
Canisius, and then you had Ivy League teams. Friday night, tomorrow.
Yes. Some Big East action, right?
You got 5 big games. We'll start with the first one. You got Villanova playing at Marquette. Marquette's got a little injury. Villanova, they have been playing better as of late, but they play at Marquette. There's not a line out. Don't be surprised if you see Marquette -4.5, -5 at home.
Yep.
That could be that's got overtime written all over it, that game.
I'm telling Villanova's been tough to gauge all year. Kyle Neptune, another one of those kind of brought in guys that were system guys under Jay Wright. We were looking at it I wear my Carolina sweatshirt, with Hubert Davis. Cuse has got that same kind of bringing in
new coaches.
New coaches, but coaches that were in the family beforehand instead of going outside the family like Michigan did with Dusty May. So can Neptune figure it out? Yeah, if Jay Wright had all the confidence in the world in him, then I will too. But yeah, he's been playing some tough games. Lost by 1 against Georgetown the other night. Played Xavier tough at home. Shaka Smart, man, the guy can coach. At every school, VCU, Texas. He never got it done at Texas, but he still had those guys in the tournament pretty much every year. So yeah, this could be a tough game.
With these two coaches, you're going to see up tempo. Shaka Smart, full court presses the whole game. He's going to win or lose on turnovers. Hopefully they don't get in a foul trouble, but basically he's going to try to force you to turn the ball over. That's what he does. Up tempo game. Villanova's got a couple players, man. That could be a good game. Really good game.
Yeah, no, definitely conference game. Games you look forward to watching.
I tend to lean underdog in that game. Then this is a huge Atlantic 10
Howie.
game.
Marquette's 3-7 against the number at home this year.
Yeah, not that great.
Not that great. No. All right. chat about that.
So then we got St. Joe's Dayton real quick, Atlantic 10 matchup. Dayton last 9 games they have not covered 8 of them. Put it that way. St. Joe's is playing pretty well, so I got to look at St. Joe's. You got Michigan
Yep.
playing at Purdue. That'll be a close spread. Penn State going out to Iowa. Iowa's another team. We're very familiar with their head coach. Used to coach at Siena and Albany. But Iowa's another team that,
Fran McCaffrey.
they got a bunch of white
Michigan,
kids that just run and gun.
shoot it and can shoot it. Yeah. If that's, if you can keep them in your system for more than 2 years now, you're doing something special, which is crazy to think. But yeah, guys like Fran McCaffrey tries to get system guys into Iowa there, and he's consistent with it. Getting these white kids who can grind it, can shoot it, can play tough defense, and they're competitive.
Yeah, so I look for probably a high scoring game in that one. Penn State, they have some injuries. We got to see if it's the guard's back. Hell of a play, Baldwin ace for Penn State. He's had some injuries. But the other Atlantic 10 game Saturday, this is a beast of a game. St. Bonaventure, who've been playing better than anybody. One of their top guard went down. He's hurt. He should be back against Virginia Commonwealth, who's playing better than anyone in the country now. VCU is back. They started off horrible, but they're playing great right now. St. Bonnie's got to go to VCU. It's going to be tough for them to win down in Richmond Saturday.
Yeah. What time's that game, Howie?
That's later. I think it's at 8.
Later.
It's 8 o'clock Friday night. I tend to lean VCU.
Friday night. I thought you said Saturday.
Friday. So Saturday we start off. First game, and then you can go. First game I want to talk about is Pitt at Syracuse, because I don't think Syracuse could cover against a CYO team right now. They're
not looking good, man. They are bad. They are not looking good. I don't know that. My boys up here in upstate New York aren't too happy with the hire that Red Autry was for that program. I mean, they saw Jerry Mack leave and go to Siena here, but yeah, Red doesn't have those boys playing together like Boeheim.
Yeah, but
Boeheim,
they suck. They got no talent. There's no talent on that team.
Nothing.
Freeman's hurt. I mean, he's the only kid I like on that squad. The rest of those guys this is the least talented team I've seen maybe ever in Syracuse.
They're bad.
You got and it makes me wonder, how much money do they have there? How much? Maybe they're not paying these kids. Maybe the alumni needs to get together and start paying some kids. I mean, they got Carmelo's Anthony's kid going there next year.
Yeah. I don't know. He's going to bring the same magic Carmelo brought back in 2003, but I don't know. We'll see. But Pitt, honestly, though, Pitt's not playing that much better either. They lost 5 in a row, 4 in a row, all lost against the spread. So I don't know. The ACC, man, that's not the conference it used to be that I grew up to love.
No, you got basically Duke and Duke and Duke.
Maybe Duke. Yeah, I think Duke.
I mean, North Carolina. I'll argue with anyone. I think you guys have I think you have 2 of the top guards in the country. Those guards are good. Probably North Carolina's
ball out. No, they're not consistent. They don't play a full game, and when they're not making their threes, they stink. They got no low post presence at all.
That's the thing. North Carolina's getting hammered on the boards every single game.
Rush.
Well, Hubert Davis, I'm not blaming him, because he's the one that came out preseason. And he said, we're not going to compete with anyone until you start giving us some funds. We need some money here. And that was the problem until their football team hired Belichick, they had no money.
Yeah.
Belichick said, I'll come in here, but you better give me an open checkbook. And they got 10 guys right off the bat who are getting paid a shit.
Right off the rip.
Yeah, they're headed to the Super Bowl. I mean, they're juice. So we look at Saturday. Got some good, Mississippi State, number 14 in the country. They're going to South Carolina, South Carolina is playing well. They should have beaten, who was it, 2 nights ago? Lost by 1?
They lost by 1,
last night.
To Florida.
Last night, Florida. Yeah, I had them. I had them in the
Florida
points last night. The Gamecocks.
Getting 11.5.
You got to go with them at home. Look, in the SEC, like if Georgia is playing at home, I don't care who they're playing. You got to take them. The
Take
SEC, it's a pretty big home court advantage. You got another big game, a team that's finally starting to look a little bit better is Rutgers. And Michigan State plays at Rutgers Saturday. Michigan State is good. It's the best team Izzo's had in years. He's
years.
he's finally got talent. He's got great guards. And Rutgers arguably has two of the best freshmen in the country. With I can't think right now. The guard and the big
Harper,
Harper and
right?
I can't remember his name, Dylan, the
Yeah.
big kid, but they haven't played well. They have not played well together. They played no defense, but they went to what, Nebraska last week and beat Nebraska. I would think Rutgers will be getting 4 or 5 points at home. I may look at taking them, even though some of the guys on the Discord are like, we can't bet Rutgers again. Because they started off terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Let's see.
Another game that pops out is this is a game that scares me. 2 o'clock on Saturday. You got Iowa State, who I have as a prop winning the national championship. I think they do have the best backcourt in the country, and they got to go to Arizona State. Who
we talked about that last week. They can lock down on D.
Yeah. But Arizona State just went into West Virginia is like 8-point underdogs and beat them. And I like this Arizona State team, Bobby Hurley squad. He's got one of his best freshmen is a kid like from Vermont. I don't know, man. He like grew up in a barn, just milking cows and shit. The kid's good. So I
DJ Freeman.
How many points Arizona State's getting? Any other games pop out at you Saturday?
I mean, you got a lot of top 25 matchups here.
I think North Carolina handles BC at home.
They should, but you know what? They couldn't handle Wake. And I know Wake has a good record, but that's a game that I looked at. They're playing Duke on Saturday. Wake. I think Duke blows their doors off. I think watching that game the other night against Carolina, Wake just unless that their guard there, Solomon or whatever, Salas. Unless Salas is on, I just don't think that they got much, and I just think Wake or Duke's playing just high octane right now. So I would look at just to see what the line is.
Right.
You got UConn Kentucky Vandy. Vandy's 15-4 this year, getting rid of Jerry Stackhouse, former UNC alum. They're playing some decent basketball.
I'll give you guys, listeners, I'll give you one more pick, one more free pick this weekend. We may live stream this weekend, but we're going to get a lot more content coming out. Steve is going to be coming on to Discord as one of our college basketball, college football. We might even do some college baseball because that's big now. But he's one of our handicappers. We got a game Saturday, and I like this game better than any game out there. And you guys listening that are members of the Degenerate Gamblers on Whop.com. You know how much money we've made this year betting Georgia. We bet Georgia in dog situations, and we've crushed them. They're going to Florida on Saturday. Florida coming off a scary 1-point win. Just Georgia team's good. Guys, traditionally, Florida will probably win this game by 20. I just think they're going to blow them out. It's at home.
Blow them out. I like where your head's at.
Serious game. So I do like Florida against the Dogs Saturday. That's a free bet you got right there. Chalk it in. If you like what you hear on this thing, look, hit the like button. Follow Howie Dewey on YouTube. Join the Degenerate Gamblers, man, because we're gonna have all kinds of live streaming events. I have parlays every weekend where if they hit, we give everybody cash. We did hit a 31,000 plus 31,000 parlay this year. But look, we gotta take off. We gotta cruise. I gotta put some pants on. But dude, Steve, we might do some live streaming this weekend, brother. But it's
all right, sounds good.
Have a lot of shit going on. We might live stream from a game coming up here soon. Head down to Florida, maybe.
All right. Sounds like a plan, Howie.
All right, guys. Thanks
for tuning in.
Appreciate it. Peace.